Tucson just became the first city to reject a massive data center proposal, and it only happened because of a huge community uprising.
The people who are paid to represent us are falling down on the job and just completely betraying us.
We are in a desert, we are in a 30-year drought. The map doesn't add up.
I have zero trust of whatever these people are telling us. They're saying they're going to reclaim water. They can't make water out of nothing. Can they make it rain? Maybe they can, I don't know.
I was on the ground to cover it day by day. I talked to residents, lawmakers, and lobbyists to tell the full David versus Goliath story of how one community took on Amazon and won. Let's dig into it. First, we have to rewind to day one when I landed in Tucson on a Monday afternoon.
It started with a town hall meeting.
These sessions are really propaganda sessions for the corporation. It's all just been people from the corporation, from Tucson Electric Power, and from Tucson Water to make the case to the public for why this is a good idea.
During a 2-hour session, some in the audience stood up to ask tough questions of the city and the company behind the project, Beal Infrastructure, a San Francisco-based corporation backed by Blue Owl, a $30 billion investment firm listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Upon completion, it would have had power capacity of 600 megawatts. That's enough to power every home in the city of Tucson. The corporation is trying to secure a deal requiring the city to annex the land the data centers would sit on, allowing them to procure the massive amounts of water directly from Tucson Water.
The water and electricity requirements will increase by maybe double over the next 5 years. Are we prepared for that?
I can only speak for what's in the development agreement for the water portion, because the water is in the development agreement. All of the water infrastructure and maintenance and then upgrades will be paid for through the water rates, which will be assessed by Tucson Water.
You are asking us to trust Christina with our water when she worked on Meta's data center team for the last 6 years while they were bleeding Georgia dry.
By no means am I asking anybody, even the mayor and council, to just trust the word of Beal or even staff on this project.
Deals are for rich people and big companies to make a lot of money. I'm a Native American, so I've seen this many times before.
We are so mad and we are so angry and tired.
Right.
We're here to hear you.
There's a difference between just hearing and listening.
Yes.
The way the data center developers went about the project was deeply troubling to many people here. Beal Infrastructure worked behind the scenes with Pima County's Board of Supervisors to try and secretly approve the sale and rezoning of county-owned land for a secret big tech client. That was until journalists from the Arizona Luminaria got their hands on some documents, which led us to our second stop, to talk to one of the reporters who got the scoop.
We found out through a document that was included in a public information request. We were able to report that the end user of Project Blue was Amazon Web Services.
If lawmakers welcoming data centers claim it's good for the community, why was this project so shrouded in secrecy?
That's been a big question that I think organizers are asking.
I walk pretty slow anyway.
Victoria just moved into this new house with her husband, just a few miles from Project Blue's proposed construction site.
Our concern is obviously that this data center and the high water use will further deplete the water table, and that this and other wells around here will go dry as a result.
She's deeply worried about the potential water usage in an area prone to droughts.
If you knew that a data center could be built near here,
I would have looked elsewhere.
You wouldn't have bought this house?
No. I think it's just more corporate greed and big companies thinking they can do whatever they want.
This is the site for the proposed 290-acre data center facility that the company wants to develop here in Tucson. But it currently sits just outside city limits, which is why the company needs the mayor and the city council to sign off and approve an annexation of the land so it can tap into the city's water supply.
Project Blue would require an 18-mile pipeline to be built connecting the project site to Tucson water. We wanted to ask an independent water policy expert about this idea, the kind of voice that many in the audience at the town hall wished they got the chance to hear from. So we met up with water policy expert Andrea Gerlach, a professor at the University of Arizona.
Is there enough water given cuts that are sure to happen on the Colorado River?
It's a hard question, is it enough? And what you think the value is. We just have to decide of all those users, what's most important.
The river did not always look like this. So this is some historic photos from 1889, just a little further up the road. And you can see how wide and sprawling the floodplain was. It was about a mile wide.
Angel is with Reconciliación al Río, an initiative focused on the ecological and social restoration along the Santa Cruz River.
Purple pipes, if you're in Tucson, you're familiar, it is reclaimed effluent water. When those of us hear that a data center could be using more than 6% of our annual water use, we have to ask, where would that water be better implemented?
We asked the developers from Beal Infrastructure for an interview through their PR rep. They responded that they are, quote, only responding to written questions now based on past biased media coverage and editorials in this community. With so much opposition, who's actually backing Project Blue? We met up with Pima County Board Supervisor Rex Scott, who cast the deciding vote back in June to sell the land to Beal Infrastructure.
It's a dry place, and water is a fight here.
Absolutely.
So why did he decide to back a project that so many people here think is a terrible idea?
I am not just enthused with the vote that I took, I'm proud of it.
This is a battle between tech billionaires and people, working class folks who want to protect their water. Do you see this as a fair fight?
I do, because we're talking about 1% of our total water portfolio, 6% of our reclaimed or recycled water.
Supervisor Scott says he doesn't think the people should be able to vote on this.
I don't think that in a representative democracy that you put everything to a public vote. I make decisions as a normal course of my responsibilities as a county supervisor. The same can be said for council members.
Which brought us to City Hall.
It's 112 degrees here, and we're at City Hall, and there's a line of people around the block who are here to oppose Project Blue. What made you come out to wait in line outside?
I think it's really dangerous that Amazon as a company is trying to come to Tucson to extract our resources.
Everything that we've heard so far has been from the company that's going to profit off of it.
I'm a Tucson native, and I'm actually 7 months pregnant, so really for the future of our family.
Inside, city council members were in heated discussion about the project.
So we're moving on to item 8.
And then a motion to kill Project Blue came up for a vote.
Your Honor, I think we got to take the vote.
Let's vote. Item passes.
And just like that, in a surprise, unanimous decision, the project was dead, at least for now. The developers promised $250 million in tax revenue, 3,000 temporary construction jobs, and 180 permanent jobs. But their contract committed to only hiring 75 workers. But in the end, the community and the city council didn't think it was a good enough deal.
This is pretty historic because this is really one of the largest rejections of a data center project across the country. What do you make of that?
So we're going through a process to define data centers and make sure that there's guardrails in place to protect the community from any sort of vulnerability like that.
For me, this is not an NIMBY issue. This is a matter of all of our communities, our cash-strapped municipalities aren't forced into situations where we are in a race to the bottom with each other, competing with each other for these terrible deals.
We, the human race, only get one shot at the AI revolution. We don't get to try things and see what works and then try again. If we screw this up, we're toast. But I would say that it might be a celebration at this point.
I have never seen community come together so quickly and so powerfully. And that is why we beat Amazon.
This is the highest profile example we've seen of a city rejecting a data center proposal of this scale. But even amid the celebration, some warned the fight was not over.
The executive orders that President Trump has passed are scary, really scary, in terms of the preemption of local jurisdictions, funding withholding of local jurisdictions that pushes back on AI and data centers, streamlining of environmental regulations. It doesn't stop here, folks.
As a long-term environmentalist, you never have a permanent victory. You always have to be vigilant.
We're not stopping our coverage of data centers here. I've been on the ground with More Perfect Union all across the country in the last few months. We've been to communities in Georgia, Tennessee, West Virginia, Texas, and more, speaking with working class Americans who are standing up to giant corporations like Meta, Google, xAI, and Amazon. The concerns might be different from community to community, but the common through line is that there's a massive rift happening right now between big tech and small towns. Is your town facing a crisis like this one? Send us a tip at stories@perfectunion.us and let us know. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and sound off with other ideas in the comments below.